Students of Reddit, what was your school's big scandal? A girl got pregnant and told everyone the father was our English teacher. Turns out, now, no one even knows who the father is, her included. My sophomore year of high school, the gym teacher's brother gets hired as the computer teacher. Nice guy, was personable, not as much as his brother but still. 2/3 through the year he just vanishes and most of the teachers don't want to talk about it. Eventually it gets out that when he was in college, the computer teacher got into a barroom brawl. During the brawl he took a pool ball, put it inside of a sock, swung it and smashed a guy in the head with it. The guy who got hit had permanent brain damage. The school found out midway through the year and that is why they let him go. A woman with severe medical issues, both physical and mental deficiencies, snuck away from her group home and hid in the broom closet of our cafeteria for 2 days. She ate all of our garlic bread, took someone's jacket, and walked out 36 hours later. This was in 2007, we didn't have cameras or anything and no one saw her go in or out. They only knew she was there because the jacket had the name of the high school and when she was found she straight up told the police she had been hiding in there for 2 days. The group home said she had been missing for roughly a day and a half. Parents were upset obviously but nothing changed until last year when the school shut down due to low enrollment. We had a senior, male student in my high school who knocked up a freshman and the Spanish teacher within like a week of each other. Dios mio. Girl attempted suicide in the girls' bathroom. Guy got caught having sex with a teammate in the locker room after practice. 3 girls caught snorting coke in the bathroom. Someone was boinking a teacher but we never found out who. Teacher resigned. Someone put red hots in the hand dryer in the boys' bathroom and it caught fire. 4 years of school, 3 fire alarm pulls. Growing up in a 3K population town in the middle of fricking nowhere was crazy as hell sometimes. These events were over my 4 years of high school. Edit. 3 fire alarms due to actual fires. Sorry for not clarifying. A string of deaths, 3 years in a row, was finally broken when some guy jumped out a 2-story building, but lived. Not a scandal, but my entire high school was put under lockdown because there was a rabid squirrel on campus. This actually came out during my last semester there, but it had been happening for years. One of the English teachers had been having sex with a few select students every year. Most were football players. It got really weird. When I had her class it wouldn't be out of place if a student from another class asked to go to the bathroom and just went to her room to see her. One day some kid brought her a drink from McDonald's because he was late to school and got breakfast. It only came out because there was this one girl who was in an argument with her for some reason and said something along the lines of, "That's why you frick your students." And the whole incident got brought up to the office and they interviewed everyone. Found out she'd had sex with multiple students for the past few years. Edit. I've been getting a lot of comments asking if this was in blank. All I'll say is that it was in Georgia. A bunch of seniors were having a graduation party in the woods. One of them passed out drunk, rolled into a 6-inch deep culvert and drowned. They didn't notice he died until morning. The summer after I graduated, the principal was caught propositioning underage teenage male prostitutes. Couple things happened at my school. One of the PE teachers basically sexually assaulted a lot of girls while teaching gymnastics. We also had like 10 people from the same grade picked up by police because they were selling drugs in school, and I mean like a lot of drugs. Chemistry teacher spilled mercury in the lab at my high school. She tried to clean it up herself, which only further contaminated the lab, and didn't tell anyone about the spill. She was arrested and it cost the school $60K to have it cleaned up. Don't know what happened regarding her charges. At the end of my senior year, we had bomb threats about 2 to 3 times a week. One of them was written in lipstick on the mirror of one of the girls' bathrooms. It said, "Bomb Minina." It was so ridiculous. Sheet like this had us standing out in a grass field for hours while the police checked the building. Not my school, but the small town high school where my kids now attend. Married female office admin X's up a female student. Goes to jail for a few years. 10 years later, husbands of both women find out they have secret cell phones and have been carrying on a relationship off and on since the older one got out of prison. That sounds like a Lifetime movie. It was in 2007, but my high school had a string of bomb threats. There was a bathroom where no cameras could see who went in or out, and someone wrote in Sharpie across one of the stall doors, "There's a in the school," with that day's date. The school was evacuated, and we all went home. For the next few months, there was a bomb threat seemingly every Friday. We'd be in the middle of the first or second period, then we'd all go home. After we missed enough days, we all had to come in on several Saturdays, and the bomb threats stopped. We also had a bunch of bomb threats around the same time, but they caught the guy doing it. I guess he had a couple of tests he didn't want to do, so he used the bomb threats to force an evacuation to get extra time. The school held a special assembly just for the sole purpose of making him apologize in front of the whole school. He cried the entire time. In middle school, the athletics director was caught putting cameras in the girls' locker room. Our female PE teacher in 6th grade was caught touching the girls. Then, a male high school PE teacher and wrestling coach got busted for on touching kids, and set himself on fire in his home. I was in the "showers are no longer mandatory and please wear swim trunks in the pool" generation. Even as a kid, I could tell something was wrong with both of them, and now looking back, I wonder how many social cues I missed. Like, if I was an unaware daydreaming kid and still felt weirded out, what would have registered as an adult? Or one of the kids' parents? Even hearing stories about the female PE teacher always had me thinking, other adults don't do these things, why does she? Nobody who would ever harm a kid would walk into a private room full of kids, right? Jesus frick. And not just that, 2 scout leaders, 2 priests, 2 doctors and a cop. And however many clergy the church was covering up for. And for such a small town, all of us were so close together and everyone around us were freaking monsters. I'm pretty sure my high school English teacher had serious relationships with at least 5 girls from junior to senior year. And that's just who I knew. I can't imagine however many others I never heard about. Like, locked door lunches type deal. Someone burned down one of our buildings. Oh, I forgot all about the student crime. In middle school, a kid broke in one night to the building with the library. He piled up a bunch of books and set them on fire. Plus he stole some stuff. One of the things he stole was a t-shirt from a fundraiser display. He got busted because he wore the shirt. A shirt no one else would have. I've posted it before but having a hard time finding it. Anyways. An English teacher slapped a kid in class and retired that week. My history teacher blackmailed the girls who weren't doing so good on his class. He exchanged good grades for pictures. The biology teacher was having an affair with the principal. Yeah, my principal was having sex with every teacher. I was homeschooled, though. This was 10 years ago. My first day of high school. I get home after school and my mom is watching the news. A senior killed his social worker with a chainsaw and then stabbed his mom a couple times. After that he went for a walk and listened to music. They caught him all bloody and everything. There was a male head of year who was gay and had sexual relations with a guy who was a minor without knowing he was a minor. He left the school but I believe did not face any legal repercussions because it was clear that he had been deceived into thinking the individual was an adult / could legally give consent. Happened to a friend of mine. Met at a party. He was 18, she claimed to be 17. They hooked up. A month later she thinks she's pregnant and her parents end up getting the story out of her. Turns out she was 14. Yeah. She ended up not being pregnant, thank God. But her parents filed charges against him. He was never convicted because there were enough witnesses that could back him up from the party, and I even think she eventually caved and went on record stating she had lied about her age. I had to give a statement. It all worked out in the end, but it was a scary few months there. When I was in primary school, 9 years old, a kid from 1st grade caught my teacher and the principal doing it in his office. Some students put pins into the sewing teacher's coffee. Luckily the teacher was okay, but it definitely could have been worse. If you liked this video, then you might like, what's the dumbest reason a teacher gave you a bad grade? Or some of these other videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you with tomorrow's upload.